Okay, new morning. Had the weekend off and we're back at it, and we're tearing the steering apart again. We've decided that when the dash is in here, it's just a little too high. So now we're going to fill this back in and we're going to lower this 1 inch down to here and make an access panel here to get to the back of the Holly dash to put the bolts in. But I stewed on it over the weekend and it just bothered me. It was just a little bit too high, and that 1 inch could make a huge difference. So tearing it apart again.
I have not. Give her a whirl.
All right.
Oh, there we have it, all torn out again. Not even funny anymore. How many times we've torn the steering apart, but there it is. Make a bung for it, put the fitting in here, and we'll be good. Weld that up, and now we can reset the dash where it goes in the right spot. Alrighty, all back together, all assembled, as if we never did it. So we're using this Holly bezel that Jason created, and Paul is making a backing plate for it, so that basically that backing plate will just go on there and get welded into here, give us something to attach it to once it's in place from the back side. And we'll use that as the hole. We will sorry, got air compressors going, welders going, grinders going. We'll use this hole for access to get to the back of it, put all the screws in, and that'll take care of that. And then GPS Garmin is ended up going right here. Everything's changing from my design that I originally had here. Now this is going away, and we're ending up with something like this, with the Garmin sitting right in here with a little bit higher dash, something like this, and this is going away. So straight dash, something more like that now. I stepped out of the shop here to get a little quieter, but the thing that if you've been watching this video series, you've got to notice is that everything we're doing has never been done before, so in the way we're doing it. So we're having to do things over and over and over, and I know it's very counterproductive doing that, but every time we move to the next step, we realize that the step that we did before it could have been done a little differently to make that step work better. And so that's why we've torn the dash apart 3 times. We went from the cable steering back when Torchcraft gave us the boat, to the shaft steering with the cable the push-pull cable steering in the stock location, to lowering it and tilting it in the new location, and now lowering it again. So it's at 3 or 4 times that we have redone just the steering alone. And there's several things on the boat that we're finding out as we go. What we thought was going to work doesn't quite work the way that we wanted it to. So when I hear people ask how much these boats cost, I kind of laugh, because it takes what it takes to build something like this. There's many ways around. You could leave it the way it was. You could put a little tiny dash in it, and so on. That's not what we're doing here. We want to build the nicest mini jet boat we can possibly build. And I don't want to say we're sparing no expense, but everybody's putting in 110% to make sure that we leave no stone unturned, and that we're doing everything we possibly can to make this thing the most mean mini jet boat in the world. We've got our oil heat exchanger installed. We had to notch this engine mount from Southern Jet. I would imagine it's probably a generic mount or something, but we had to notch it to get our hoses on here and get that heat exchanger in for the oil. So the oil will come out of the engine through the heat exchanger, or through the filter, through the heat exchanger and back to the motor, so that we're cooling the oil at the just before it goes back in the engine. Okay, back to the drawing board on our Holley controls here. We were going to put it back there on the back firewall like you saw in the last video. Now we've decided it needs to go here. Why does it need to go here? Well, that wire right there that runs off the motor is only so long. The wires from the dash are only so long from the controller. This stuff is made to be put in a car where the dash is right on the other side of the firewall from the engine compartment, and so on and so forth. So because our engine's in the back and our dash is in the front, we now struggle with wire lengths from here to the controller and from the controller to the motor. So luckily we didn't weld it in back there. We would have had to cut it all back out, and we've decided it needs to go right here. We have come a long ways. Doesn't look like it, but Paul's pretty much got this dash all figured out, all welded up on one side. He's putting in the tabs for the seat belt holds for the shoulder harnesses that are going to go in here. The bracket is all made. Beautiful, beautiful work that he's got here. And we're getting to the point where we're trying to figure out the nitrous. I'm going to reach out to my viewers. If any of you or know anybody that is has knowledge on the nitrous systems, we know enough to get ourselves in trouble, but we don't know enough to order the right stuff and set it up correctly, and we certainly don't want to hurt a $35,000 engine. So it is set up for nitrous. We've always planned on having nitrous, but we just don't know what we don't know. So if any of you out there have the ability and want to be involved in this, that can help us set up the nitrous program, I'm looking for some support from the viewers. Hit me up on Instagram and send me a message and let me know what you can do, or if you can help us. Back to work.
Getting things figured.
Yeah, so Justin's got this all figured out here, what's going on in the ROB panel.
Some of it.
All the electrical stuff we need to get done. A lot of stuff to get done here. The Holley, got all this stuff has to go in, all that stuff has to go in, all this stuff has to go in, all that stuff has to go in. We got a long way to go. We've got our RLB panel going right here. We've got our start-stop switch going right here. Our Holley dash going right there. Our Garmin going right there. And then we're going to get started on the roof, and hoping that we're going to be able to frame in the radio and intercom to sit right in here. So you reach up and all the wiring stays up above you. All your cords are up above. Not going to get wet, not going to be in the water, not going to get splashed. It'll be perfect, I hope. Okay, I promise this is the final rendition of cutting out this dash. Now we're going to add some support somewhere in here. I'm not sure where yet, but basically that just gives good access to the panel to get the screws in the back side and have access to the back of the Holley. Alright, back at the shop once again. We went to Kirk's Welding and bought more material. Every like once a week we're buying more material. Get it unloaded. Alright, we got a big step done, or in place I should say. Our center console. Our shifters right there. This dash will go all the way across there and tie into that. Got some switches going right here. We are now building the outer arc, which will notch into here, notch into the front point here. That will establish the roof panel. This will get boxed in. This will all make sense in a little while. We have a plan. Back to our console here. That's our front panel. We got to put holes for the vents that are coming out of the heater. We've got to put supply holes for the supplies right there. We've got to put a throttle cable hole for the throttle cable to go through. And what else? Another hole on the side of these for the vents to come out the side. First brace is in.
Quarter inch.
Putting the RLB chase light on now, so we know we're working around that with the body. We've got a hole here, mouse hole for the wiring to come in from the RLB chase light into here, down this tube, and into the gun through the gunnel. We have added these support bars. They're not in there right now, but that support bar is going to go across here to carry the loads from here. Like that. Triangulated that to get the loads from here to transfer to the floor instead of all of it being on the gunnel. I'm surprised no one made a comment about that in the last video, because we planned on doing that, but we hadn't had them in yet. Okay, we are officially working on the Goldwing roof panels and framing. You see all the structure it's taking to get this to work. So what we're doing, giving up all my secrets, we have permanent structure here, hinging structure here, but we're welding it all in, or tacking it all in. So this is a permanent structure, and then right next to it we'll put hinging structure. Once the two pieces are in, do I have another piece here? I got one. Ignore me. Once these two pieces are in like this, here, then we will cut through here. This will become hinging, this will become permanent. Our hinges will go here. We had those made. We had those templated and made in on a 3D printer, and they're made to make that permanent structure swing away from the moving structure. But when it's all closed, it will look like one piece. Then the super secret part here, we have our linear actuators. These are 12 volt linear actuators, and they're very quiet, very smooth, and will open and close those Goldwing roof panels in probably about 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Very smooth. So now a new bar will go inside of here, and that part will hinge and the other part will stay still, and will match the same thing right here. It'll all make sense in just a little bit. We've got our first heater vent in. Justin's got the second heater vent in here. And then they open and close and turn. So cool. One step closer. Now we have the substructure all done, all framed out. See it there? Now we will build a new structure within that structure. Cut it, and these will be ready to hinge and fold up. Put our custom hinges that we've got here somewhere on them, and we're also putting in some support bracing for the roof and an area for the venting. It's going to go right in here, some 1-inch, and then fold some body panels, put some screens right here to feed our turbos right on the side. Alright, now you can see we've cut out the Goldwing openings here on both sides. And now those pieces will get made from the pieces we cut out. Where's the ones that cut out? So these are the pieces that came out of there, and each one of them will create the right and left gull wing style door panel. So our hinge mechanism.
We would cut a notch like that, get some 3/4 stock, drill it. Slots there that get welded.
Oh yeah.
Corner welds, notch.
And then we have a way to get the bolt in.
And then this will be longer for the bolt. The bolt will draw, and this is we're gonna put a shoulder bolt in, not a regular hex head.
Right.
So that gives us boom, closed, vertical open, and gap, and it clears. So, which I'm gonna verify now.
So basically what we've got is our hinge will fit inside of here and rotate up with our panel on it. These are prototypes that were 3D printed. So basically, notch there, over there. Use that hinge, panel will fold up. That'll be cool. Okay, first prototype hinge is in and moving. They're both in there.
Brandon Vollmer Designs.
Randy Vollmer design?
Brandon Vollmer Designs.
Vollmer. The Vollmer original right there. Got to give credit where credit's due.
Fairly level, square to each other.
Yeah. We've got to redesign these just a little bit. That's basically the intersection, the gap that will be the same here. And that's the part that will flip up on the actuator. So I am standing in the hole. Right here. A very rough idea, but basically I've built a cardboard, very rough cardboard, nowhere near what Paul will do when it comes time, but wrapped around the inlet of the turbo with the screens going here, screen going here. And then our engine cover is going to sit like this and go all the way to the back, of course. And that will be hinged coming up like this. And have a seam that lines up like the roof down here. Right in here. Right in here. So this will have a really close tolerance when it comes down, rises up, comes down. That's the plan as of now. I think when this is done, we're gonna probably have more time and effort into building this gull wing roof panel than all the other work combined. Very complicated. Not complicated for that guy, but a lot going on here. A lot going on. It's the moment of truth is whether it's gonna work or not. It's gonna work.
It's not gonna hinge right now.
No, I understand. Well, we can simulate it, right?
Yeah. We got pink shims in there we gotta take out. There you go.
There we go. First gull wing.
Throw it in the water.
Gull wing panel. Nice. Little sticks in the way. It's got the stick stuck in it.
Oh, does it?
Hang on. Okay. All right. It is official. Do that again. It clears. Sweet. Okay. First gull wing panel moving. Sweet. That is so cool. Easy to get in and out, huh?
Even if it's here, I mean, you're like going that way.
Yeah, we don't want them to open all the way up if we don't.
I think
All right, like that looks cool.
they're right there. That'd be just so cool.
Yeah. There it is. You saw it here first. First mini jet boat with gold wing roof panels. All right, the moment we've all been waiting for. The demonstration of the gold wing panels.
Here we go.
Go fast too.
You happy
That's
with
cool.
that? Huh? What do you think, boss man?
Down?
Beautiful.
Here we go, down.
Of course, the hinges are not the finished hinges, so it's a little wobbly.
They're plastic.
There it is.
Send her up again. Let's just, I like looking at it up too.
Hang on. Okay.
I think it's gonna be pretty stiff, Jeff, and that thing's bolted to it, and those are metal. Because if you think, we're just hanging on the edge of that tab. So all the structures in the
Yeah,
center.
I get it. Yeah.
Like,
And a
that
plastic
thing's-
tab, we're
yeah,
hanging on
it's
the
gonna be stout.
just a little tip of it. So that's badass. That's exactly what I had in my head.
Perfect. That makes me happy.
It makes me happy. Go ahead, you can talk.
Nah.
A little camera shy.
I changed your 1/2-inch bung to a 1-inch drilled and tapped because the nut would come into the gap here, and
Yeah.
then I'd have to make,
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then I put nylon washers in between, and I'll print you when I go home. Print you ones
Yeah.
that are exactly the size we need. I'll measure all that and do a little.
So cool.
Yeah.
So freaking cool. Coming together.
It's wild.
Okay, our center console is all mocked up. Got the cool switches in. You'll have to wait to see what those are for. Something pretty cool. Got our shifter mounts all ready to go, all welded up. Cup holders in. They light up. Nothing but the best. So here's the good and the bad that happened here with this. This man who bought the Mojo boat right here just saw this. Now he wants the Mojo boat to do this. So here's the good news. This whole cage is one piece. The window, everything here is attached to this cage right here. Here and here. If you have a jet stream or you're building a jet stream and you would like the original Mojo cage, window, light bar, the whole unit from the hull up, this will literally unbolt and bolt in to any 12-foot jet stream and fit it exactly. So if you're having Torchcraft build you a boat, you can have this actual cab. These are all powder coated pieces, so everything here can be powder coated your colors. You can wrap it, you can do whatever you want. But now we're going to turn this boat into that. Hit me up on Instagram or message me on the Mojo H2O channel. What's my Instagram? Mini Jet Mojo H2O. I don't even know my own Instagram. Mini Jet Mojo H2O on Instagram, or go to the YouTube channel and leave a comment, and we can talk there. Phil showed up, got the Mojo boat in tow. We're going to be taking a break from working on the Piranha boat and take a trip to Needles, California, go down the Colorado River and do some side-by-side stuff. So this episode will end right here, and the next one will be us in Needles having fun with the mini boats and the side-by-sides. Then we'll be back to work on this in 2 weeks. Paul's going to take off. He'll be gone for 2 weeks, come back and get hard after all the engine cover and the back panels, and a lot of work left to do to this thing. At least 3 more weeks worth of body work and paint, and then it should be ready.